three.
Sadhana is me.
Okay, so sadhana denial is like self-denial. The term is Maya. Maya can mean a mental quagmire. It can also mean the physical universe when it's daunting to you, when you find it intimidating. That's Maya. And most people live in it. Most people live in it. So you got a broken heart there, you got money concerns, you got a couple of ghosts, lots of question marks, you got a ladder, you want to go up someplace, you got a snake, snakes and ladders? You got, it's a game, you go up and then you go down. And so all that stuff going through your mind, day by day, moment by moment, and it's all stressful. So that's Maya, and that's a quicksand. Okay, so this is quicksand. How do you get out of a quicksand?
Stop struggling.
Stop struggling, that helps, yeah. Yeah. And you don't go down so fast, yeah?
Get some help.
Help. Good. Any other ideas? Well, there's a thing, it's called a fulcrum, You have an item here, and you want to lift it up, you create fulcrum. A little thingy here. Okay. And then you can have a board here, and you triangulate it. You create leverage. You get leverage, and you can make that longer or shorter, and then you can pick up this very heavy thing. Similarly, in the quicksand, you can find something, a branch, you can reach out to it with your hands, and then there's a chance. Now in the mind, everything is constantly in flux, right? Even outside, everything's in flux. How do you find something that's not in flux? Something to anchor onto. If you can create a pivot, if in your mind, where value comes from? Value? You assign things value. If you don't assign something a value, it has no value. Value is a very personal thing. Now, what happens when you value something? And that, where your attention goes determines basically your destiny. Underlying your attention is the things you value. And the things you value, part of it is based on your sensual experience, like the red car really hurt. Some of it is based on what you read in your sacred scriptures, let's say if you have. Some of it is based on impressions you got in the media, what other people told you, la-di-la-di-la. That determines the things that you value, right? Negatively or positively. Your attention goes there. You can be just a really stressed out person for your 80 years of life, just watching for the next red car. So what I'm suggesting to you is in this quagmire, this quicksand, if you're one of those unusual people, and this is very unusual in this culture, right? Everybody's going McDonald's, everybody's going get a Ferrari, everybody's going get a big house. That's not exactly what we're doing. You can create something, a constant in your mind. And depending on how much you actually focus on it and feed it, how much attention you give it, and how much you value it. Remember, your attention is going to go with what you value. Now supposing, all right, just make a crazy example. Supposing you think that I am the Messiah, let's say. Okay, Jesus has come back, la-li-la-li-la, and I tell you, do your sadhana, la-li-la. Well, you're going to put a lot of faith in me. I'm the next coming of the Messiah. So you got to go there. But one way or another, if somehow something, or just your good luck, puts you in a place where you can say, yeah, this whole thing is topsy-turvy, including my mind, maybe I can create something and pull myself out of it, something consistent. And the consistency, where does that come from? That too, you create. Say, one day you meditate on your breath 10 times. Right on it? So one day you say, okay, I want to get out of this quicksand. I want to create something constant. And so somebody in Egypt, they told me, if I do this 10 times, breathe 10 times, it's a start. Then if I do it the next day, at the same time, let's say, it's one type of sadhana. You do the same thing every day at the same time. Then if I do the same thing the next day, it's a constant. You develop a constant, right? And then it affects the whole alignment or lack of alignment. Really, this is a lack of alignment. This is chaos. You know? But I'm coming back to the main point for those of you who are, as Jesus would say, of little faith. That's a biblical term. Those of you having a hard time, there's nobody can create that valuation, to value the sadhana, which, as we said, remember I conned you into saying sadhana is self.
Me.
Sadhana is me, right? I conned you into making the connection there, whether you believe it or not. I mean, I made you say it. But if you believe that, then what we're doing is we're focusing on ourself. We're focusing on the consistent. That's why in the Indian, and take as many notes as you want. I mean, some of this is important. That's why in the Indian vocabulary we say there's an Atma, which is in you. It means your soul. And then there's a Paramatma, which means the absolute soul. Right? So if you can make the connection with the consistency, the eternality, the endlessness, and the sacredness of your own soul, well, that can take you to what we call universal consciousness, experiencing the God who made everything. The God with you. Start with the God within. This little Jyoti God, Jyoti Devi, I think they would call it, right? Or Andrea Devi, that little Andrea there that's very sacred. And that maybe nobody watered little Andrea Devi for many, many years. So it's getting kind of dry and just barely existing still. But start to believe in that little God and feed it a little bit and be consistent. Do those 10 breaths. And then be totally outrageous and do that. Even though the whole world is going, I want to go McDonald's, I want to go disco, I want to do this, I want to make $1 million. Nothing wrong with making $1 million. But just keep your roots. I mean, look, I went to Sunday school, so I'm going to go back to Jesus again. What does it benefit you if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? Right? That's what we're talking about. No roots, just flotsam and jetsam and just going everywhere, but going nowhere. Basically going down. But the sadhana gives you a pivot. It gives you a base. It gives you a chance of getting out of that so you're not constantly up and down. The basis of it is valuing. Well, pain is a good teacher too. Sometimes, once it starts to hurt enough, I can speak from experience, when it starts to hurt enough, you say, I don't deserve this pain, really. I'm going to get out of this shit. And then you look around. Or, I'm not a kind of guy that gets on his knees and does. I never was, does those kind of prayers, but I had a longing. There's a big vacuum inside of myself. It was sucking the universe in, saying, I want it. I want something better. And I deserve something better. Where is it? And if that longing, that vacuum, that desperation becomes enough, then you might find a teaching that actually works. Because you do deserve it. And then it'll screw up. But, sometimes, I've been doing this for enough years, some people, they pick it up and say, oh yeah, sadhana, radhana, prabhupati. Sadhana, radhana, prabhupati. They do it for a year, they do it for 2 years, do it for 3 years, and then they fall off the boat. Right? So, who can take that person and put them back on the boat with their sadhana? Nobody. It's totally a very, very, very personal thing. What you value. And maybe, God bless, some of you are married, you're in relationships, sometimes your spouse doesn't like your sadhana, right? Doesn't like you getting up in the morning making those weird sounds. There's a big challenge, right? What are the children going to do? Lolly, 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 lolly. So many challenges, so many reasons to fall off the boat. And marriage is sacred, is it not? You want to keep peace in the home, lolly, lolly, lolly. Or, there's a lot of stuff. But does this make sense? Mm-hmm. So underlying attention, what's the thing that underlies your attention even?
The value.
Yeah, the things you value. That's where your attention goes. That's where your attention goes. So just really study yourself sometime. What other things you value? Where does your attention go? Who is this person? Who is this Rosalie? Where does her attention? How come her attention's going there all the time? I mean, let's just say, I know your attention goes to the night stable, which is a good place to go. She serves the homeless, which is good. Doesn't go there all the time though. Sometimes she's reading Mickey Mouse comics. I'm joking. Whatever. I mean, nobody's always doing service. We all have this monkey, this rascal inside. All right, so that makes sense, right?